it's a scary process of that, losing its value so fast. And so I try to bring it back into a value again that people want to hang up in their home. So it makes me very proud. It makes me very happy that I can take something that used to have value, that I lost its value, and then bring it back again, that people want to be able to hang in their home, and then they talk about it. And so it's been really fun to be a part of that journey, taking all these old keyboards and making them beautiful again. I'm Erik Jensen. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, United States, and I make art out of recycled computer keyboard keys. So growing up, I always liked to make art out of random things. I would make art out of food or the garbage that I could find. Because growing up, I was born deaf, so speaking was very hard for me, and I didn't speak my first full sentence until I was 5 years old. And so that language barrier of trying to speak was very hard, and so I always did art. So at a very young age, art was my first language. That's how I communicate. So I pull things together. You know, I would find little things and draw on everything, cardboard, make sculptures, and make costumes for me out of paper and different things. That was how I was expressing myself, because I couldn't say things. And so I always tell people art was my first language, and then speaking was my second language. And so that's kind of been who I was at a young age. And so I see art in everything I do, you know. That's how I see the world. I see things, I don't see words. And so that's kind of what come to me. So this medium is a perfect medium for me, because it's what I see, and so I can take things and communicate a message with something that had no value. I just think they're so cool, and there's so much history in a computer keyboard and the keys. We've all written like love letters, or we've typed on them. We have so much connection, and that's always been so fascinating to me. And I realized that nobody really recycles them very well. It's a plastic, it's hard to recycle. So that kind of bothered me, so I just kind of was like, oh, I wonder if I can make art out of them. So I started collecting them, and was like, oh, I wonder if I could, you know. And that kind of started. The journey started from there, but it actually was a college assignment when I was doing art school. My professor gave us a challenge. We had to take something that people don't want and make it into something they want again. So I had an old keyboard that I really didn't want, so I popped it, made a little sculpture, and I was almost done with school, so I was like ready to get out. And he said, you have to do more. You promised me you'll do more when you're done with school. I was like, okay, fine. So I just kind of, asked people, and people were like, here, I don't know what to do with the keyboard. And so it's like, okay. So I just started taking them and started making art. And so I guess that's the history of it, or the story behind it. And I like to use the keys as what is called pixel form, what cameras work, or everything that we see works in that way. And I like to use those to help me create an image. Kind of like a mosaic, or people use tiles or different things, but I like to use computer keys. So when I start making art, there's a process that goes into it. So I have to find all my keyboards, I have to pop off the keys, clean them all off, and organize them into different colors. And then I have to take all my tan ones, white one, and soak them in dyes. So I have the palette. I have 20 shades of blue or greens and all that stuff, so that I have to make my paint before I do the painting, or so I have to make it all beforehand, and then I use those to help me get the right colors, and then I lay them all out. So I have big tables so that I can lay out all the keys into the image I want. I usually do a rough draft, so I just kind of go fast and lay it out, and then I have to stand back and look at it from far away. So that I can see, oh no, it's not working, and then change out a couple every little bit. So I change, oh no, that's not working, I change it, and then come back the next day with new eyes and change it. And now I just have to keep doing that. So that's usually why I work on 4 or 5 different artworks at a time, so that I can come in with a fresh eye every day and come in, change a little bit, change a little, come back and cycle through until it's like, oh, there it is, it's right there. Then I can move it, and I start gluing them. I have to glue each one by one. I glue them all in so that they are stable, they're all together. And then I build a frame for them so that I can put them all together. So I guess that's my process of how I make it. I'm kind of more interested in the process. That's more fascinating to me, is taking this trash, the keyboard that doesn't work, that nobody wants, that has no value, and popping the keys, cleaning them up and making them beautiful again, and putting them as an image that has more impact on me as a person and the impact on people. The image that I do, I don't really care so much on what I'm doing. It's more the process of taking something that's ugly, that's trash, into beautiful and that has value. So that's kind of been more fascinating to me. That makes me more excited than anything that I'm doing. Seeing the history in the keys, the letters, the different languages, the different ages. So sometimes you get really old, beat up, ugly keys, but as a whole, when you see the whole artwork, you don't see those ugly ones. You see the image and you see the beauty, and ugly ones just are there. And so that's been so cool to me as an artist, to be able to be a part of that and to be the person that gets to do that. So it's been really fun. I also like to do my own things. I like to do nature, animals. I like to recreate some of the masters, so like impressionisms or realistic or whatever. I like to see how they work in a pixelation form, or pop art, or graffiti. So I've been doing series on and off throughout the years of different recreation of artists. So that's been kind of fun, and with those recreation of artists, I like to put hidden messages or words or their names or birthdays and things like that in the artwork. I also like to do portraits of people, famous techie people, people that have influence on the technology world. So I just kind of fit. So I like to do portraits of different famous people like Steve Jobs or Einstein or different things. Or not so famous other techie people that have made an influence on the technology world and computers and keyboards and that kind of stuff. So So people like to ask me how many keyboards I use in my art. In about 1 meter or 3 feet artwork is about 2,500 keys. That's about a pretty good size that works in a pistol. Anything that's smaller is harder to recognize, it's harder to make an image work. So 2,500 keys, which is about 1 meter, works relatively good. I've done some bigger ones that have been 40,000 keys, so they were huge. They took off a whole wall in a room. So I've done different sizes. The smallest I usually do is about 225 keys, so that's this size. And then I go up to 40,000. My dream is to do 100,000. I know that would be massive, so that would be the dream, to be able to do 100,000, but I'll get there one day. Currently, right now, I've done about 750,000 keys into artwork, which is roughly about 9,000 keyboards that I've recycled to be able to put into artwork. And so it's been really fun to be a part of that journey, taking all these old keyboards and making them beautiful again. So it kind of makes me proud. So it's a very proud moment for me as an artist to be good to the earth and to take something that's totally trash and to make it beautiful again, and that people want to hang on their walls. Currently, right now, in my studio and off-site, I have about 1 million keys in storage. So that's probably like 12,000 keyboards that we've popped and we've organized them. And so I need to get busy so I can make all those artworks, so I can recreate all those into artworks. It's always so fun to see what people react when they see the art for the first time. If they've never seen it from far away, they typically see the image and they're, oh, okay. They typically think it's tiles, so wood pieces or ceramics or something. So they're like, oh yeah, it's a, you know, whatever. And then they start working up closer and wait a minute, wait, what? They start seeing the texture, and then their faces always change instantly when they realize, wait a minute, this is not what I thought. And then they come up and their faces light up. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's a computer keys. Wait, and so then, and it's always a shock of like, what? You know, so it's so fun. I see it thousands and thousands of times, and it makes me smile every time, because it's like, I caught them and it's like, wait, what? How did... It's a scary process of that, losing its value so fast, and so I try to bring it back into a value again that people want to hang up in their home. So it makes me very proud, it makes me very happy that I can take something that used to have value, that I lost its value, and then bring it back again, that people want to be able to hang in their home, and then they talk about it, and that it's part of the conversation again. I know I'm a little more, I guess, I'm reminded that that's kind of how life is, that we have bad moments or ugly days, and when we lay the keys, sometimes we have an ugly day in our lives, but our lives as a whole is a beautiful image. So I have to remind myself, so when I look at my art, that sometimes I'm going to have ugly days, but that's not the important part. As a whole in our lives, we are going to become a beautiful image, and that we are going to be a part of a conversation, and that we have value. So sometimes we lose value in our days, or we lose value in different things, but we work together and we respect each other and we work on ourselves, we will gain our value back and will become a beautiful picture again.